Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a little while since I've done one of these. In fact, it's almost been a month since I've done one of these. But yeah, what you're going to be watching is what will be the build in the next build video. It's called, well, I like to give the builds names. It kind of adds a little bit of spice and it kind of like draws someone attention. This is the Clunter, which it's a bit risky, you know, it's close to a couple words which aren't so savory, but I thought I'd go with it anyway. But yeah, this is like an awesome build. I'll be honest, part of the reason why I haven't made anything recently is because I kind of wasn't really like feeling the spark with any particular build. Like nothing that quite got that feeling that I really look for in my builds. I want my stuff to feel fun, and I'm only ever going to make a video if something feels fun, like good to use, good to play with. And I wasn't finding anything or making anything that really felt like that until this. This is such a cool build. The whole idea behind it was how far can you really push Dreaded Spectre as an ability? You know, Clunter, Clone, Hunter, get it? That's the whole idea behind the build. It's just about making a lot of just copies of you and really having that as like the survivability in the build, the thing that's going to keep you alive. And I was so impressed. A while back, I made a build. What was it called? Trapper Hunter, that was it. And it plays, well, okay, this build plays very differently, but a lot of what is inside of the build is actually quite similar. It's got Inmost Light, it's got Threaded Spectre, it's got Winter Shroud. The only difference being with that build is that it used Certarachne. Very much relied on that more for its survivability in the build. This is just all about the clones. You've got Coyote here, and it's kind of weird because at face value it's like, well, do I really get that much from another dodge? In this build, the answer is yes. You have so much regen, and Coyote is there. Like, getting double dodges isn't like impactful if you do like dodge. The real magic behind this class item is being able to kind of like stuff away ability energy into a second dodge, and then you just dodge, and as soon as that second clone gets broken, maybe someone goes up and like punches it or something and then it explodes, as soon as it goes you just have another. And then with all the regen in the build, Snare Bomb here as well, for all of the ticks that it lands, is giving you 2 times empowered. So it's such an efficient Inmost Light user. And then again, double dodges, we're using Gamblers, it refunds the melee. This build has just got a loop that's, it's it's so good. And what really drew me to it is it's refreshing. Like it feels like I haven't used something like this or made something like this since Final Shape. It really just kind of like ticks all of my boxes. Is fun to use, is powerful, has a skill ceiling to it. It's just kind of one of those builds where maybe you don't immediately click with it and understand it. Just get it in your hands, play with it a little bit, and it will work magic for you. I'll talk a little bit about the loadout. Tenacious, I can never remember if this is called Tenacious or Tenicious, and I feel like I flip between the two kind of interchangeably. So yeah, whatever it's actually called, you can let me know, but I've probably looked afterwards. Tenacious, Tenicious, whatever. The whole reason that we want this is that this gun with Chill Clip, I've talked about this in a load of other videos. This is easily one of my favorite legendary guns in the game. Winter Shroud and Chill Clip is already such a good combo. Being able to do that 8 times in one kind of mag, it's It's so good. And that then gives you a load of regen of your class ability and then all the clones. It's just, this gun ties this build together beautifully. And honestly, that's all you really need. I would say Tanusha's, whatever, is your must-have, or maybe like a good Riptide or something. But apart from that, yeah, just shove anything in. I put in a Queensbreaker just because it's pretty good at the minute. I don't even have the catalyst for it as well, but it doesn't matter. It's just good by itself. And then I'm also using a Velocity Baton. I think you can get away with double special. I am using special finisher, although admittedly that's one of the things that I need to learn to do a bit better with this build, is really go for those finishes more often. I look back at my footage and I noticed that I wasn't really getting those finishes off as much as I really could. And yeah, if you go for those finishes and you really work around special finisher, you will have no problems with ammo economy. But without it, I'd say you'd struggle, and I will go with single primary special. But again, I talk about this in the build video. I'm like, special finisher. That's what you should really be using. Just because the abilities that you have in this kit, they're very kind of crowd control-y and like CC, and they're just about stopping things from really being able to fight you. Smoke will disorient, Duskfield will freeze, and slow and shatter, but they're not really like killing stuff all that much. I mean, in Transcendence, that's a whole different beast, but yeah, the guns are, you really want them to be pretty kind of lethal in what they do, because you don't get that from your abilities. So that's something I like. Double special helps with being a bit more dangerous, and special finisher enabled that. For making orbs, I think I've got Stasis Void Siphon, and then also Reaper as well. And I find that normally just kept my special finisher topped up as much as it ever really needed to be. You're not making kind of like crazy amounts of orbs in this build. It's not anything like a triple heavy-handed combination blow hunter or something like that, but you're still getting pretty good amount of orbs. Like enough where I feel like it's valid to use something like Facet of Purpose. So yeah. Also, speaking about abilities in the kit, the one kind of... Okay, fragments are very flexible. I think there's a few mandatory ones, but as far as abilities go, I would say your super is the one thing that you really get to tinker with. It can kind of be anything, but I was really enjoying using Goldie. Restoration from Facet of Purpose. It's so good. It's arguably the best Facet of Purpose buff you can get. I mean, Certarachne Hunter and Facet of Purpose with an Attrition Orbs gun, that's just a whole build in itself, and you don't even really have to try all that hard. But here, obviously, we don't have... Well, if you're using Goldie, you don't have Woven Mail, but yeah, that's my reason for using Goldie. Genuinely, like, my only reason is that it gets me access to Restoration, and that's worth having that super. Otherwise, Silkstrike. I talked about this in builds wherever Silkstrike is a good super to have, but whenever you finish Silkstrike, you get resets on both of your dodges. Well, one dodge normally, both dodges if it's Coyote. Obviously that's good. This is a dodge build. It kind of just works really well, as you would expect it to. But, oh, this is one thing that I don't mention in the build video. I will maybe go back and talk about it in the voiceover, but yeah, I kind of sound different between days, kind of how close a mic is or something like that. You'll probably be able to tell. So maybe this is like a little exclusive, I guess, if you're here. But if you dodge during your super, that's actually going to reset your melee charge as well. So it's something I kind of do subconsciously now, I think, where I throw my smoke, and then during Silk Strike, I will just hit maybe one dodge, and then I know immediately as I come out of that super, I'm going to have that smoke bomb ready, which is really nice because it's going to disorient stuff, and then coming out of super, you can do smoke, dodge, smoke, dodge, smoke, dodge. I don't know if I just got that order right, sorry. Smoke, dodge, smoke, dodge, smoke, dodge, smoke. Okay, maybe I'm confusing myself, I don't know. But it's a cool combo, and it's just a little bit more ability spam, which is something that this build is good at. Like, good at. So many smokes, bunch of dodges, load of grenades. I don't say it in the video, but I think footage is proof of that being true. One thing I want to touch on lightly is that this build, I almost wish I had put it together earlier, because Threaded Spectre got hit with a nerf. To be honest, rightly so for where it was supposed to be. It got a 0.4 regen nerf, and that was targeted towards PvP because it was Swarm Grenade, Threaded Spectre, and what was it? Swarm, Smoke, Threaded Spectre in PvP. It was super oppressive, and yeah, it was right to get nerfed, but for some reason they also hit it in PvE. I think this is a good build, but was it worth nerfy? Nerf worthy? Jesus Christ, man, sorry. It's been a long day at work. But yeah, it, like, this in its prime, I would have loved to have messed around with this build. It would have been so much fun. But don't get me wrong, it's a little watered down, but it's still strong. It's still really strong. And in all fairness, I gotta put respect on Threaded Spectre. It's so much better than I thought. I mean, I know I talked about it once before, but going into this, I was kind of skeptical about making an entire build about Threaded Spectre. You know, this little green dude is how we're basically staying alive. And I was like, is it good enough to keep me alive by itself? I mean, two, because of Coyote, but even so, you know, I was kind of questioning whether it was going to do the job well enough. It does the job so well enough. It's, honestly, I think in this build, if you play it right, if you really kind of get used to holding onto your dodges, storing them and banking and making sure that you chain them in smart ways, I think this is more safe than something like Certaragni. Stylish even too. It's just, as long as you really play around these clones, you make them do a lot of the hard, heavy lifting for you. Yeah, I'm pretty confident standing by that and saying that this is up there. It's just, it takes a little while to get used to it. I still don't really think I've got this build down fully. I still need to improve with it, but by no means is being just kind of mediocre with this build, meaning that you're just not getting stuff done. I wouldn't consider myself to be kind of like like the advanced expert of the clunter, but even so, it's still taking me through content pretty easily. I know this is Insight Terminus, it's not the hardest GM, but yeah, even so, you know, it's a GM. It's got to have some good stuff backing it in order to get through this. And yeah, that's about it. The mods and stuff like that, if you're really interested, you can maybe go and have a look in the dim. I can't remember off the top of my head apart from Reaper. But yeah, that's kind of it. I guess, actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of stuff that's coming up on the channel. I said it before, I kind of wasn't quite feeling the inspiration for builds at the minute. I think with what I do, I'm never going to put something out that I don't genuinely believe is good, and I'm only ever going to put something out if I think it's something people will have fun with, and even more important, if it's adding something. And that's something that's kind of, maybe I just need to get the creative juices flowing a little bit, but that's something that I find almost kind of missing with the builds now. Again, this could just be me kind of having a mental block and just not really digging deep enough into stupid and wacky ideas and just picking stuff up and trying it. That's normally kind of what I do. I'll just stick things together, try it, and just go with it. I'll give anything a fair shake if I see an idea behind it. But yeah, at the minute that isn't happening so much. Maybe not as much as I like. Part of the reason why I've been going slow. But I really want to try work on some different content, slightly longer form stuff. A while back I was doing some community posts about Prismatic, and I was umming and ahhing about that video because, I mean, this is something I've got written down in the script that I've got for, well, at least what I've got for it so far. But it's such a difficult video to make because I'm basically saying, here's this thing that I love that has, that's really just improved my experience of this game. I mean, Prismatic, jaw was just on the floor when I saw the trailer, and it genuinely was like, yeah, you know what, I want to start making stuff because this looks like it's so fun. And then going and just saying, yep, this thing is so amazing, so enjoyable, I love it. It needs to change. I have kind of dabbled with the way that I sound in the video, the kind of attitude I have towards it. It's just been such a finicky thing to talk about because, yeah, man, I think because of Prismatic, I have probably sunk hundreds, if not thousands of hours into this game. That's probably not an exaggeration, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, it's difficult to talk about something that you really enjoy and say that you think it should maybe be worse, be different. That's something that I'm still kind of struggling with. This script isn't finished, and yeah, I don't know when it will be. But that's something I want to work on over the builds, and also some VGM mixes as well. They're coming up, but yeah, I just I gotta do. I gotta sit in front of my computer, set some time aside, and really just try and work on this. Anyway, 17-50-minute run, little drip check right there. As you can see, orbs, kind of decent amount, but yeah, you know, nothing crazy. Yeah, subclass, Silk Strike, or Goldie are the ones I'd say. Gamblers, Snare Bomb, Dustfield, Threaded Spectre, Winter's Shroud, Faceted Room, Dorm, Mending, Protection, Hope, and Purpose. And then Tinashes, Velocity Baton, Queenbreaker, and then this stuff here, although I also go onto the right hand side page in a second and you can see seasonal stuff too. Yeah, there you go. Oh, one thing I will say, if you boost the Volatile Marksman artifact, then that gives class ability regen. Yeah, use that and abuse it. It's super good. Anyway, that's about it from me. See you.